Hey everybody, it's Ryan with FFP Customs, and today we're going to go over the install of our 79 to 04 Mustang lower seat mount. To start things off on this first stage, we're going to have a 90-degree pick and a tape measure. We'll get into what we need that for. What we're trying to achieve is this is going to be placed on the factory hole on the rear of the 4 holes in the floor. We have this extra provision to help support if somebody wants to move further back in the car for more stability on the whole entire seat mount itself. So we're trying to get everything in and square to be able to mark that hole accurately, to know that once we drill that hole and place the bolt in it, everything's mounted, it's square, everything moves on, the seat mounts move properly, they're in sync, the tracks are in sync with one another. So we're going to start off by taking our 10mm by 1.5 thread, 25mm long bolt and washer that comes in the kit, and we're just going to place it right in the factory hole here. Take another one, do the same side. These pieces are not left and right different. They're the same. They can go on either side. It doesn't matter what side they go on. So this angle in this floor we have found that can be a little different from time to time. So we put this slot here so you're able to move these to change the angle of these in relation to the track to make sure everything sits flat. So now that we've got these in, we're going to move over to our seat track. This track with this cutout here will be facing towards the driver's side door. This will be for the driver's side. We're going to place this over here. We're going to take our 10mm 1.5 thread, 25mm long, and a washer. We're going to place it in the factory hole. Now while we're up on these holes, sometimes I have come across these front holes to be 2 studs, stud and female thread, 2 female threads. We give you enough hardware for no matter what the configuration is, you can achieve it and bolt into it. So you're going to have some hardware left over depending on what your scenario was. So now that we have that in, we're going to take the other side. This cutout's going to go towards the transmission tunnel. So we're going to put it in like so. And we're going to take our 10mm 1.5 thread nylon lock nut and washer, and we're going to place it on the stud. Just everything's loosely installed at the moment. Now this can be done in a multitude of ways. This is the way I do it. You can kind of snug all this up and it doesn't move as freely and get it more precise if you feel more comfortable. I've done this enough to where I feel pretty comfortable with doing it this way, and it works for me. I'm going to take the 10mm 1.5 thread, they're 25mm long, low profile socket head cap screws. There's going to be 4 in the kit, and I'm going to place them in the holes into the counter bores on the tracks on both sides. Now the nut, the nylon lock nut and washer, 1 of each, would go on each side. So a total of 2 on each side. But for right now, what I'm trying to do is get this front to back square and get it this way square to itself. So I can then take my 90-degree pick, go in to my slot, mark my hole to know where I can drill it. Then I can remove this out of the way, drill that hole, and then I can finally install this portion and move on to the next. So the way I do it is you want to make sure that this angle is flat here where these 2 meet, so you're not bowing anything. So you just move this to where you get it nice and flat. I'm all the way up on the slot here, so front and back. Do the same thing over here. Okay, so now that I've got those both in place, front to back, I'm pretty confident that since they are both the same, we're close enough to where everything will work properly. So now I like to take a tape measure, and you can do this from the inside, you can do it from the outside. I just want to make sure that this line and this line from here to here is square to itself. So I'm going to hold that there. Okay. And they are right on the money. So right there, with nothing moving, I can now take my 90-degree pick and I can come in and I can hold it in place and I can mark my hole. I can hold this one in place, and I can come in and mark my hole. And what I'm doing, my method, there's other ways of doing this, is I just take that and I'm scratching the floor. You see the carpet's in right now. You can do this with the carpet. It definitely makes it a little bit harder. You can pull the carpet back over here and get it out of your way. You can mark the floor with a black marker and scratch this so you can find it. You can scratch the floor and find it. There's a lot of different ways. This is just my personal method. So now that we're in a position where we know this is square front to back and square left to right, we've marked our holes. Now we can take this out. We can drill the hole out to accept our bolt, and then we can place the bolt in, get everything back together loosely, and then we can do a final tighten.